Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I am ItsKim. Welcome to ItsKim Live. If you've never seen this show before, hi. I'm ItsKim. This is my show where I talk about pop culture and things that interest me. I love Britney Spears, so she tends to show up quite often here, but I also love talking about lots of stories, usually with a bit of psychology and mental health kind of sprinkled in. Here's the way the show normally works. So we do our main topics. Then we have a halftime where I communicate with my beautiful community of space angels who are already here. I see you all and I love you all very much. Thank you for being here. And then we have a fun section towards the end of the show called What the What, where we look at something from on the internet that is crazy, wild, funny, interesting. So even if you're not super into the main topic, there's something here for you. There is something here for you. So we are going to have an interesting show today. Oh, it is. It's Wednesday. It is the Wednesday. I'm sorry, Project Metal Music and King Bob. Thank you for correcting me. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. I
You're
have to be
supposed
honest.
to be wearing pink.
Yeah, we should be wearing pink. I'm sorry. That's on me. That's on me. Um, I do want to say right off the bat, guys, this is gonna be a tougher stream for me, which is probably why I had a brain fart and thought that it was Monday, because it's definitely not. Um, Based on the title here, I'm sure you guys can tell we are going to be talking about a very controversial topic today. And there's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot to get into. I actually gave myself an extra hour of time to prep this show, and I probably could have used another hour. It was a lot. It's a lot, and I'm gonna do my best to cover this to the best of my ability. Now, that being said, I think it's very important that I let you guys know. Because of the content today, I have a pinned comment in the chat, and it is that there will definitely be some of you that are probably going to feel a bit triggered through this episode. There is a document in my description that is full of resources, international resources. So if you need support, please don't be afraid to reach out. There will be a section of this show where I'm going to let you guys know that there's something particularly disturbing, and I will be censoring that in the sense I will say it. It will not be up on screen. Um, and when I'm done saying it, there will be another message on screen letting you know that you can unmute. So if you're uncomfortable, you can mute and come back in. I ask for everyone in the chat, when we get to that point, please do not repeat what I am saying in the chat. I'm trying to do this so that people that are very sensitive to this can still take part in this experience, but can still, be careful for themselves. And because we are talking about these topics, YouTube guidelines prefer that you don't speak about things like this immediately starting in your video. They like you to wait a little bit. So we're going to go through a couple other little stories before we get to the main event. And I hope that that makes sense to you guys and we're all good. I do also want to say thank you so much to everybody who's here. Please make sure that you are subscribed if you have not done so already, or if you think you're subscribed, double check, make sure you are. Also, please like this stream because I know this is going to be one that we're going to be fighting the monetization train. So, and not because it's about the money, but because if you're not monetized, YouTube doesn't promote you. If you're not promoted, new people can't come in. And talking about this may not reach the people that maybe it should reach. So that's the idea. Speaking of which, I have to say thank you so much to General Scott, who has already sent me a PayPal before the stream started. Thank you so much. That goes into the fund to fund the channel. So appreciated, and I so appreciate you. Thank you. And I also have to say thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships that you have given. And I'm trying to get this up on screen, and why won't it let me? We'll laugh at myself there. All right. Yeah, General Scott, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships you just sent out. Also, thank you, Amanda Panda, for the gifted membership that you sent out, which means that we are team even for gifted memberships, everyone, with 6 to start off the stream. Katie Artist 94 said, thank you. This community is awesome. It is, and we love you. Thank you. And Kyle, thank you so much for the super sticker you just sent of the dancing hippo. We love the dancing hippo. It is good to see you, Kyle. All right. So, shall we get into the main stories? I guess so. So, yes, this is our lovely thumbnail. We will be talking about this topic in a few moments, just to make sure that we are abiding by the YouTube guidelines. Because I will say this very loudly. These are our disclaimers today. This stream will include speculation and opinion. This is my show where I share my opinion. You need to do your own research on this. If you feel so comfortable, please just know that, like, always do your own research. This is not to be taken as fact. Links are in the description. Okay? So, sorry, I'm nervous to talk about this as well, too, because it's just a lot. So I apologize if I'm tripping over my words a little bit. And also, hi. Hello, YouTube human reviewer. I'm going to speak with you directly in this moment because I know there is a very good chance that this show is going to get limited. Nothing explicit is going to be shown in this stream. Nothing like trigger words are censored. I am doing everything in my power to make this show appropriate for your platform. And something that I want to say right off the bat when it comes to topics like this is many of the people in my audience know that I am a survivor of CSA. Part of why I do what I do is because of stories like today. And I do not agree with the decision to censor this topic in the way that it is normally censored. To not allow survivors to speak about what they've endured because it's too disturbing is a slap in the face to every survivor. I'm happy for you that you guys live in a world of corporate where it's comfortable enough for you to be able to say, we're not talking about that here because it's too disturbing. Well, that's a lot of our lives. That's what we have to deal with every day. And the thing is, not talking about it, it benefits a group of people. I can tell you that it does. And it's not the kids. So if we want things to change, if we want things to be better, if we want people to be aware of what is going on, the adults need to talk about this. The teens that are exposed to this, that may be being victimized, that are on these platforms, they need to know about this. Censoring me, that's not going to help. And I hope that that makes sense. Exactly, carbonized stardust. 100%. Silence only protects evil, not victims. So YouTube, I am calling your bluff on this and your policy. If you really want to protect kids on this platform, these types of conversations need to stay on it. I don't market my show to kids. It is not a part of YouTube Kids. This is for not kids. So I'm doing my part. I'm trying to be respectful. Please do not punish me for speaking about things that need to be talked about. And I hope that that makes sense and I will get off my soapbox. So yes, viewers, please do not send any hate to anyone. You guys are amazing. I don't really ever have to worry about that, but I do have to say it to be responsible. Don't do anything that would cause harm to people in real life. So again, to abide by the community guidelines, and just so you guys know, I see the chat. I know I'm seeing stuff go off, but I have to stay focused while I'm doing these stories just because it's difficult for me. And I hope that that makes sense. I care about every single one of you that is giving stuff. I'm so thankful for it. And I will thank you guys when we are through the topic. And I hope that is all right. So the first story I want to talk about today, and this isn't on the thumbnail at all or anything like that, but we do have an update to the Cyrus family drama. I know, let's get the silly out of the way first, right? So apparently Dolly Parton stopped promoting her album and rushed to LA to mend the Cyrus family rift. Because for those of you that don't know, Dolly Parton is very close to the Cyrus family. I believe she's actually Miley Cyrus's godmother. She was actually on Hannah Montana. Like they have a very close relationship. And apparently Dolly's very upset about this. So she came to save the day. The veteran music star has apparently stopped promoting her latest album and rushed it from her home in Tennessee, to LA, so she can play peacemaker to the embattled family. According to Women's Day magazine, Dolly, who is longtime friends with Billy Ray and godmother to Miley, is heartbroken to see the Cyrus clan falling apart and wanting to set it right. So I'm thinking like, okay, this article is going to be full of stuff, right? Like I'm here for it. Tell me the tea, because quite bluntly, if Dolly Parton shows up at your door and tells you to start behaving and to be a better person or to figure your stuff out, you listen to Dolly Parton. Like I would be mortified to get called out by Dolly Parton. Anyone else? I'm just saying. I am just saying. Yeah, it's like I just looked over quickly and I saw DVD. Dolly intervention, exactly. Like, oh wow. Wow, wow. So this is the information we have, guys. Here's the update. Billy Ray and Miley are like family to Dolly. She can't stand that they're not talking. Dolly told Miley cutting out her father was a mistake, an insider alleged. Billy Ray and Miley's alleged fallout first came to light in August of 2023 when the pair unfollowed each other on Instagram following the news of Billy Ray's engagement to Australian musician Fire Rose. The insider also told Women's Day that Dolly has caused a lot of tension between herself and Billy Ray after she asked him to apologize to his daughter for the breakdown of the relationship. And that's all we've got. That's it. So basically, she told Miley, don't cut your dad out of your life. And she told Billy, apologize to your daughter, grow up. And now the family is mad. I don't think Dolly is wrong. Right? Can we be grown-ups about this? Can we try to talk? Can we apologize for that we've hurt people and just try to be civil? Maybe? Apparently not. So I kind of have the feeling right now that if Dolly Parton can't fix this family, no one can. And that's where we're at. So yeah. That's it. That's the big story. And this is kind of one of those things I'm like, how is this even an article? How is this even a story? There's very little here, but okay. But yes, don't mess with Dolly. All hail Dolly. Dolly's right. And we move on. Other story I thought was kind of interesting that I wanted to touch on quickly. Kanye West, for some reason, just went at Hailey Bieber in an Instagram tirade. Is there anyone right now who is not going after Hailey Bieber? I don't understand this. I don't know what this woman has done other than the Selena thing to have people loathe her as much as they do. And I feel like it's kind of like immature and stupid at this point. But the other thing too is that people don't understand why he's mad at her. I don't either. So basically, in this tirade, he started by thanking a few people and said, this number one is for you, I guess with his new song, the people or album, the people who won't be manipulated by the system. And then he started attacking groups of people. And F Adidas and everyone who works there or with them. Anyone who goes to school with anyone whose parents work at Adidas, just know they tried to destroy me. What are the kids on the playground supposed to do about that, Kanye? And Adidas dropped you because you ran your mouth and you said things about a certain past German leader in infamy that people did not like. Okay. And then a little further down the post, he brought up Hailey saying, and F everybody at the fashion houses that sided with Gabby and Hailey Bieber. F each and every single one of y'all. So, the rest of this article goes into posts on social media from fans of Hailey trying to understand why he's mad at her. We literally don't know why. There's some people thinking that he's mad at her because something went down between him and Bieber, like Justin Bieber. But why wouldn't his issue be at Justin? Apparently, there was some controversy a couple of years ago where he called her a name, but they seemed to put that behind them and it was fine. So I don't know. But yeah, apparently we can add, Jimmy Kimmel's taking swipes at Hailey. Kanye West is taking swipes at Hailey. The media is just taking swipes at her. I don't know. It's insane. But all I can say, I kind of wish Kanye would stop attacking younger women because they make him unhappy. Like he's not getting what he wants, so he lashes out at younger, successful women. Just putting that out there. Just putting that out there. I don't know. I don't know, everybody. It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. Well, at this point, we are at 20 minutes into the stream, pretty much, which is beyond the timeline that is recommended in the community guidelines from what I understand and what I have read. So we're going to go into the story now. Okay, so here we go. For background, there is a documentary that is coming out, I believe, end of this week. And it's called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. And this documentary is going to go into some of the specifics of what happened behind the scenes at Nickelodeon. It seems to be focused very much on Nickelodeon based on what I've seen. But we will be touching on Disney Channel a bit for this story as well. Or ABC, I guess. Producer Sister, is that correct? ABC?
Which is Disney Channel.
Was it Disney Channel?
Yep.
Okay, Disney Channel. All right, we'll get there. One of the biggest bombshells of this is that Drake Bell has stepped forward. And for those of you that don't know who he is, he was on the Amanda Show, and he had his own show called Drake and Josh. He was definitely a staple of the Nickelodeon brand. I would say early 2000s. So he is very well known. And what we found out is that his monster at Nickelodeon did face legal consequences for what he did. And people have known that there was a lawsuit regarding this and that he was convicted. But until very recently, we didn't know that the survivor was Drake. That had all been sealed. So this has now opened up a whole insanity thing, and it definitely seems like even people that are interviewed in the show didn't know that it was Drake. So we're going to go through all of this because I'm going to preface this by saying Drake has a very colorful history. I would not be surprised if some of you are not fans of Drake, and that would be for good reason. But we're going to go through all of it because I believe in context. I believe that people should have the right to defend themselves. And I believe that sometimes the media will focus on a specific narrative, run with that, and then that person doesn't really get a fair shake. So I'm going to try to do that today. So here we go. So actor Drake Bell has come forward saying that he was essayed by a Nickelodeon dialogue coach, saying it was extensive and brutal. So for the first time, Drake Bell, the one-time star of Nickelodeon's Drake and Josh, has spoken out publicly about being repeatedly hurt by dialogue coach Brian Peck when he was a child. And I'm going to say his name because he's garbage. I'm not putting his face up because I don't want to look at it, but F you, Brian. The announcement comes as a part of Bell's appearance in Investigation Discovery's upcoming 4-part docu-series, Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of TV, which uncovers the toxic and dangerous culture behind some of the most iconic children's shows of the late 1990s and early 2000s, many of which were produced by Dan Schnieder. And if you guys are aware, Dan Schnieder is a name that has come up multiple times when we are talking about Nickelodeon and misconduct. There's a lot of smoke there, guys. There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of fire. And quite bluntly, I probably could sit here and show you examples of why people don't like what Dan allowed and directed and all those types of things. But some of the clips, when you look back on them now and understand them within context, it actually makes me sick to my stomach. So we're not going to do that. Yeah, it's gross. It's gross. I'm going to leave it at that. So, as of today, the embargo has been lifted for the press of talking about what is in this documentary. So these are some quotes from people saying that this is what Drake had to say in the interview. Brian and I became really close because we had a lot of the same interests, which looking back, I think that was probably a little calculated. Bell, now 37, says in the docuseries, which premieres across 2 nights on Investigation Discovery, and I believe it's on Discovery Plus. I've been seeing that as well. from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on March 17th and 18th. That looks like Eastern Standard Time. Bell began acting at the age of 5 amid his parents' divorce. After mostly working in commercials and small TV parts, he landed an acting job on Nickelodeon's The Amanda Show. The next year, on the first day of the show's second season, Bell met Brian Peck, a dialogue coach who befriended him and would invite him to his house for acting lessons. After some time, Bell's father, Joe Bell, expressed his concerns with production and said that he was uncomfortable with Peck, who also appeared on screen as Pickle Boy, always being around his son. The relationship between Peck and his son didn't sit well with Joe, and when he mentioned it again, he claims he was ostracized on set and he backed off. Peck would later become Bell's manager, causing a rift between Bell and his father. Peck would frequently accompany Bell to acting auditions in Los Angeles, which were at least an hour away from where Bell lived with his mother. Due to distance, Bell would frequently spend the night at Peck's house. But one night, everything changed. So this is where I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, yes, this is our trigger warning. So Drake is going to explain very briefly what happened to him at the hands of Brian. So I'm going to read this. I have it on a separate document. And if you are very sensitive to this, if it's very disturbing, if you don't want to hear it, now is the time to mute. Okay. So right now. And I'm going to get into the text. Let's go through it. And again, chat, please do not repeat any of what I am saying in the chat. And I'm not sure if Linda's here.
I haven't seen her.
I haven't seen her too, but that's okay. That's fine. Love you, Linda. Producer sister, I give you full authority. Yep. If anyone does that, they are banned from this channel. Period. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So, Drake said, I was sleeping on the couch where I usually sleep, and I woke up to him. I opened my eyes. I woke up, and he was essaying me. Bell, who was 15 at the time, says, and I froze, and I was in complete shock, and I had no idea of what to do or how to react. You know, anytime I had an audition or anytime I needed to work on dialogue or anything, I somehow ended up back at Brian's house, Bell continues. And it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, and I was just trapped. I had no way out. The A was extensive, and it got pretty brutal. In 2004, in connection with Bell's case, Peck pleaded no contest. Okay, so he did not fight this, and he was convicted to a charge of oral copulation with a minor under 16, as well as a charge of performing a lewd act with a 14 or 15-year-old. Bell's identity as the victim was not made public at the time. Peck spent 16 months in prison and was mandated to register as an offender. Okay, so that's the nitty-gritty of it. And we're going to go over and let everybody that left come back in. You can unmute now, everybody. It's okay. It's okay. We're done. We're done. We're going to keep going. For those of you unmuting, he just described what happened to him, and we went over that the person who did this to him was charged and convicted, and did spend time in prison and has had to register. So that's that. Okay. Bell said the abuse happened to him more than once and that he has never forgotten what happened to him. He said, I often look back at that time and I wonder how in the world I survived. He says, I remember all of the events, but everything outside of that is very blurry to me, which is a bummer because I experienced a lot of great things in my life and my career during this time, but it was so overshadowed and ruined by what I was dealing with on the inside that it made it really hard for me. Bell says in the docuseries that Schnieder, this is Dan Schnieder, this surprised me. This surprised me very much. Schnieder was not aware he was Peck's victim until Bell confided in him. Schnieder, who left the network in 2018, offered to support him in any way he could, says Bell. Now, my understanding is this documentary is going to go in depth with Schnieder. I don't think he is getting off easy in this whatsoever, but I did find this to be interesting. And I can't help but feel like any support or encouragement maybe he gave to Bell, I have trouble believing that it was with good intention. That's my speculation. That is my belief. But yeah, that's a whole thing. Shattered by what he had endured, Bell says he began to drink and use substances. In 2021, Bell pleaded guilty to 2 charges stemming from online behavior with an underage fan and was sentenced to 2 years probation and community service. And this is the next thing we have to talk about, because it's like something terrible happened to him, but allegedly he's done terrible things as well. And we're going to get into that because I think it's important. So, what happened was Drake was charged, and he was sentenced to 2 years of probation and community service. And there was a lot of very interesting reporting around the situation. So I want to read his response, and it explains what happened. This was an NBC Chicago report. So here we go. So Drake opened up about the recent legal troubles after pleading guilty in the summer to child endangerment charges. On Thursday, the 35-year-old Drake and Josh alum posted a video to Instagram. So this happened in 2021. Okay, so this is a couple years ago. Telling fans that he owes them an explanation. The former Nickelodeon star, whose name is Jared Drake Bell, was sentenced to 2 years probation, all that stuff. Bell began his video by refuting reports that circulated on social media and some media outlets alleging that he had changed his name and that he was taking up residence in Mexico. So he said, most of the news you've heard recently is entirely false and wrong, he said in the video. I feel that you deserve and I owe you an explanation. I didn't change my name, although I would love to. I never moved to Mexico. I've never been a resident or a citizen of Mexico. I don't have a Mexican passport. I didn't get arrested. I didn't go to jail. Okay, he continued. I know that this has moved very quickly for you, but for me, this has been a 3-year thorough investigation into every false claim that has been made. And it's not me telling you that the claims are false, but the state of Ohio has proven the claims to be false. If these claims were remotely true, my situation would be very different. I would not be here at home with my wife and my son. And that being said, I am not perfect and I made mistakes. Bell said he responded to a fan without knowing their age, and when he learned their age, he ceased communication with the person. This individual continued to come to shows and pay for meet and greets, all while I was unaware that this was the same person I was communicating with online, and that's what I pled guilty to, he continued. It was reckless and irresponsible text messages, but I want to be clear that there were no images and nothing physical between me and this individual. Bell noted that the interactions took place over text and that he wasn't charged with doing anything physical or images. When I was presented with the plea deal, because of the messages, I felt that this was the best way to get over this quickly and for everyone involved to be able to move on, and for me to get back to doing what I love, and that is making music for you. Today, I accept this plea because my conduct was wrong, Drake shared during the July 12th sentencing and hearing, according to NBC News. I'm sorry that the victim was harmed in any way. That was obviously not my intention. I have taken this matter very, very seriously. And again, I want to apologize to her and anyone else who may have been affected by my actions. At the time of Bell's arrest, the prosecutor's office had stated that a then 15-year-old girl had filed a report with the Toronto police in October of 2018, stemming from an alleged incident in 2017 at a Cleveland nightclub involving herself and the star. According to the prosecutor's office, an investigation showed that Bell had sent inappropriate social media messages in the months preceding the concert, which had followed a relationship that had been established several years prior between the two individuals. In a July 12th statement, Bell's attorney said, today's plea and sentence reflect the conduct for which Mr. Bell did accept responsibility. The victim's allegations that went beyond that, because she accused him of a number of other things that were investigated over a 3-year period, and charges were not laid. So due process on that front, which all parties agreed not only lack supporting evidence, but are contradicted by the facts learned through an extensive investigation. As the court made clear, this plea was never about misconduct, adult misconduct, or relations with any person, let alone a minor. Okay, so that's that situation. So, in a statement to People, Nickelodeon says that now that Drake Bell has disclosed his identity as the plaintiff in the 2004 case, we are dismayed and saddened to learn of the trauma he has endured, and we commend and support the strength required to come forward. There's a part of me that doesn't believe that Nickelodeon was not aware of this. Am I alone in that? I would be incredibly surprised if Nickelodeon did not know that Drake was the one involved in this. That baffles me. I'm not here for this statement. I don't like it. Bell's story is one of the many included in the docuseries, which features multiple interviews and former cast members, writers, and crew from the popular teen series like All That, The Amanda Show, and Zoe 101. I also have to mention some other important details when it comes to Drake Bell. More than 10 years ago, Bell was in a relationship with a woman named Melissa Lingafelt. Melissa accused him of DV. Bell has denied these allegations, saying, in part, clearly Melissa still felt close enough to me just last year that she was comfortable reaching out to me to provide her with financial support during a tough time, which I did. I do not know if today's behavior is some kind of misguided quest for more money or attention, but I cannot and will not allow these offensive and defamatory allegations to go unchallenged, and I am reviewing my legal options. She has also alleged that Bell was involved with other underage girls. Another ex of his has also claimed that he was abusive. No charges or lawsuits have been filed at this time, to the best of my knowledge. If there are truth to these claims, I would expect that some would come forward after this documentary. I don't think if all of this is true, I don't think he's going to be able to run from this. And I guess we'll have to see, like, time will tell. And I mean, for me, coming from a situation where I covered a trial of someone that it was assumed that he was guilty, and we found out a lot of other things about the case, and like I should just say, I mean, it's Johnny Depp, like you guys all know this, that Johnny was accused of horrendous things, and there was no evidence to back up a lot of the insane claims that were made against him, and the testimony of his ex, everything fell apart. Everything fell apart because it was a lie. And people lie. People lie about famous people. People especially lie about famous people or notable people when money is involved. It's very frustrating, but it happens. So I am still on the fence. And the thing is, most of these people that have said something are all completely anonymous. I have no idea who they are. We don't know if it's the same person. I don't know if it's someone who just made a throwaway account. We don't know. So I can't judge him on this when there is nothing concrete, if that makes sense. But I will be honest and say that there is smoke here. And I didn't want to talk about this and present him as someone who is completely blameless when that is not the case. But to be clear, regardless of his conduct, it does not change the fact that Bell was essayed by a trusted adult as a child, had his day in court, and he proved it. So I think there has to be some separation on this front. I don't believe that his conduct absolves Nickelodeon or Disney, because we'll talk about that in a minute, of what happened under their watch. And it should not invalidate the stories of any child actors who were hurt through this process. Yeah. So that is the nitty gritty of what we know before the show comes out. And I figured we have more to talk about with this story. Producer sister and I are going to have a bit of a conversation. It's going to be a little bit different, but I think that it's important. And we're going to have a Lacey break until then. If you guys are cool with that, just give you guys a minute because I know that it's heavy, right? It's a lot. That was a lot, in all fairness. So I'm going to, Lacey, can you come up and see everybody? Everyone needs Lacey therapy. Here she is. Everybody say hi, Lacey. Yeah, you make me feel better when stuff sucks, right? Yeah. I love you. You're a good girl. She's been so good. Yeah. Oh, but I feel like you want to kiss me, but you keep being like, no. You're watching. She said, I'm embarrassed. Don't make me kiss you, Mommy. I never make you do anything. You're fine. Okay? But yes, Lacey's amazing. We love her. She's great. She's usually here with me. Like 99% of the time, she's here with me. Oh, she's so good. So good. So, the next thing that I wanted to mention with this story, and it is the second half of our title today on this, and that is that TMZ has reported, as the embargo has been lifted, that there were multiple celebrities who wrote character support letters for the person who hurt Drake after the conviction. So these would have been letters that were given to the judge to, be more lenient, all those types of things. Now, the thing is, I haven't actually seen the interview or heard the details. I don't know how much of this we're going to get into with the series. Just trying to pull it up here quickly because I ran out of time to make slides about this, but I want to make sure I read the names correctly. Gosh, TMZ, why are you posting so much? It was completely dead earlier. This is so weird. Anyway, James Marsden was one name on that list. And producer sister and I have questions about that because there is another person kind of in this realm that was close to people, and I believe that person's name was Jason Marsden, and we're wondering if it's potentially a mix-up, but I don't know. We'll see. It very well could have been the actor James Marsden. There's also Taran Killam, who I believe was on SNL.
Yep. He's married to Kobe Smulders.
Yeah, from How I Met Your Mother. So there's him, and then they mention Boy Meets World stars Ryder Strong and Will Friedle. Now, when it comes in particular to Ryder and Will, they have a podcast, and they talked about this a while ago.
Yes.
And producer sister loves their podcast, and one of the things I think is really important to talk about when we talk about these topics is that groomers groom everyone around them. They really do. They really do. And I am a lot more interested right now in where people feel currently, in current day, with the information they know, removed from pressures, removed from the situation. And the fact that both Ryder and Will felt that it was appropriate to address this on their podcast and admit to their affiliation, and then also admit to how conflicted they are and upset they are looking back on it all. I think that takes a lot of bravery, and I support what they have to say in that front. So producer sister had told me about this podcast a while ago, and I believe you listened to it again this morning.
I listened to it for the first time this morning.
Okay. You knew it had happened, but yeah. Okay. So, producer sister, we cannot, because of copyright, I can't just play you their podcast.
No, and the episode's also an hour and 20 minutes long.
Which, I mean, that would cut into What the What time, let's be real. So we're not going to do that. But producer sister, I was hoping you'd be able to share with us what was said in that podcast.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to say the podcast came out on February the 19th. I am not 100% sure when they recorded it.
So this year? Or
I'm guessing it was either late last year or early this year.
Okay.
They did say, Danielle said at the beginning of the episode that they weren't sure when it was going to be released.
Okay.
And this episode itself is a deviation from what they normally do. For those who aren't aware, the podcast is called Pod Meets World, as a spoof on Boy Meets World.
Pod Meets World. Pod Meets World.
And it is done by Danielle Fishel, Ryder Strong, and Will Friedle, who played Topanga Lawrence, Sean Hunter, and Eric Matthews on the show. They were on the show for all 7 seasons of it, and either were starring or did come back for guest appearances in the spinoff of Girl Meets World. Normally they do a rewatch of the episodes they're going through. And one of the things they said at the beginning of the rewatch was they wanted to talk about both the good and the bad of what went on set and their experiences, all that kind of stuff. And they've been true to that. They have talked about stuff that is not comfortable for them and looking back at things as an adult instead of a kid. Now, they were young when this started. I believe Danielle was 11.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ryder was 13 and Will was 17, 18 when they started. He's a bit older. So they made a decision to talk about this situation, specifically Will and Ryder. Danielle did not have a lot of interaction with him, which is also something they talked about in the episode. I will say I highly recommend it. If you have the time, go listen to it. I can put the link in the chat for the episode.
I can grab it. You keep talking. I got this.
It is the episode, it just says Pod Meets World 2/19/24. February 19th episode.
I'm going to put their Instagram in the chat, so they should have links in there of, where to find wherever you get your podcast, because I know everybody has different preferences.
I listen to it on Spotify.
Yeah. But it's also like Apple Music, it's there. iHeart, it's there. So however you like to, that's where you would go.
Now, at the beginning, Danielle read a bit of a script of what they were going to be talking about. One as a trigger warning, because it is not an easy thing to listen to, which I expected.
Yeah.
If you're going to talk about it and you're going to talk about it right, it shouldn't be an easy family-friendly listen.
And I can tell you from the clips that I have heard of it, you can tell from listening to them that this was incredibly difficult for them to do.
And they both, they've said that. Both Ryder and Will said this is incredibly uncomfortable doing this and talking about it. Mm-hmm. Initially, my first thing that I was happy to see is they had a licensed therapist named Katie Morton join them in this discussion. And I thought that was really important to have someone come in and talk this situation through with them, who was able to help them sort through some of their feelings on this. Mm. They were very forthcoming about, yes, they did write the letters. That is true.
Yeah.
And they did not make excuses for that, but they tried to give some context.
I also just, before we get into that, Melissa A., I see your comment here. I don't know specifically about Dan.
No.
I know that it was for Brian Peck, who was the person who hurt Drake. They would not have publicly apologized to Drake Bell because he was an anonymous victim in the lawsuit. And we did not find out that he was that victim until last week. So considering this podcast came out in February, there's no way that they would have been able to put that in there. And there are clips from this documentary already with cast members being like, I don't know who it is. Like, they don't know. So in all fairness, there's no way that Ryder or Will could have apologized to Drake in this podcast in their defense.
Rebuttal, they may have known.
Really?
Really.
But they couldn't say it.
No, they couldn't, because there was a lock on having his identity revealed.
Yeah, the only person who should have revealed the identity of Drake Bell is Drake Bell, and he has chosen to do that now.
I say that because they do touch on the fact that Will for sure was in the courtroom during sentencing.
Yes.
And he said the victim's mother addressed Brian, saying, look at all the celebrities you have backing you up. So at the very least, they saw his mom.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't take a huge leap to figure out who it is.
But they could not have ethically said Drake by name in any way.
I'm guessing if you're there and his identity is sealed, that you would have had to sign some sort of an NDA.
Yeah.
Because you're in the courtroom. So.
Yeah.
But one of the things just with that Will talks about is, I was sitting on the wrong side of the aisle. And I didn't know it. Of him having to process these feelings of, I was wrong. And taking ownership of that, which I thought was really great. Of not saying or trying to make excuses for himself.
Yeah.
The initial part of the episode, they talk a good amount about, can I say the G word on here? I don't think so.
I mean, just say G word. We know what we're talking about. We have not gotten flagged yet, which I am shocked by, but we're going to try to keep it that way.
Yeah. They talk about what it is, what the definition is. And Katie, the therapist, talks about what is the definition of it and what their experiences were on Boy Meets World with him. He started on the show during the 5th season. He was in 2 episodes, according to IMDb.
I think it's also important to mention, when would that season have been filmed? What year are we talking about?
97.
So 97. The incidents that we are talking about regarding Drake occurred in 2004, is what we believe. That was what the court case was about. So
I believe they had different dates.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But what we're trying to say is that what happened on Boy Meets World predated what happened with Drake. So their experience with this man had nothing to do with any of that.
This all happened after the fact, after Boy Meets World had wrapped. He was on set with them for the final 3 seasons, season 5, 6, and 7. And he was in, according to IMDb, he was credited with 2 episodes as an actor. I did go on this morning because I'm racking my brain trying to think back in this show of what character was he.
Yeah.
And the first episode was in season 6. He was cowboy number 2. It was a bit part with 1 line. And the second episode was in season 7. It was actually the honeymoon episode after Corey and Topanga's wedding. And he was an islander who had 2 scenes, one of them being the tag. So neither episode that he was credited on were massive parts, but nonetheless, he was on set. He was working with the cast and developed a relationship specifically with Ryder and Will. Whether or not he had a relationship with Ben, they did not speak to that whatsoever. So I have no idea. And frankly, that's not their information to share.
Yeah.
That's up to Ben whether or not he wants to say anything.
Ben played Corey on Boy Meets World.
Who is the third guy on the screen.
Yeah, but in specific, I can say these are the people we're talking about. So this is Danielle is in the center, and then Ryder Strong on the left, and then Will on the right.
Yeah. So Will had a relationship with him that spanned a couple more projects after Boy Meets World, some of which he actually got Will. They spoke about one movie in particular that Will didn't even have to audition for. Brian just got him the part. So there is that bit of a relationship where you feel like you're indebted to someone. In addition, he had more of a social relationship with Ryder. Now, Will said, to be honest, he did not have much of a social life in that era for him because of other factors. So that may have been something that would have been if Will was doing that, but he wasn't at the time. They spoke a lot about the power dynamic, and this man was coming in. He was 15 years older than Will, probably closer to 20 years older than Ryder.
Yeah.
And to the outside world, to us looking at it, well, why is this man befriending teenagers?
Yeah.
That's weird. But to them, and they talk about this on a set, that's very normal.
Yeah.
They hung out with adults all the time. And unless you were very young, like Lily Nixay, who played Morgan, and she was 4, 5, 6 years old, when you're a teen, you're looked at more as an adult.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a badge of honor to be looked upon as one of the adults and to fit in with the adults and for them to accept you as an adult.
So it's like, listening to this, it just kind of sounds like this was almost like this was a perfect opportunity and a perfect place for Brian to potentially be able to create these opportunities for himself. And obviously, it doesn't seem like anything horribly inappropriate happened.
They said that no essay occurred with them. But they never saw that side of him.
But I mean, to me, I feel like if it was me and I was looking back on this, I feel like a part of me might be like considering, like, were we going in that direction?
Yes.
Right?
It very much sounded like there was G-ing going on.
Yes.
With them. They talk about the lack of parents on set to be able to come in and say, this is weird. This relationship with this man is very weird.
Yeah.
Why is this happening? And they also touched upon the fact that the 90s was also very different than what it is now. And homophobia in Hollywood was rampant.
Yeah.
It was not a good scene. And he is gay. So there was a lot of people who were afraid at that time to say anything about the relationship between a man and these kids because of what they thought would be interpreted as homophobia. It wasn't.
No.
It was the dynamic of a relationship between an adult and a teenager child.
Yeah.
But it was a different time.
Yeah.
You're also 5 years into this show. Their parents are not on set as much anymore.
Yeah.
They're older teenagers.
Yeah.
And the power in this show belonged to them.
Yep.
The core cast was the kids,
Yep.
not the adults. As horrible as it can seem, any of the adults on the show, probably minus Feeney, you could have continued without them. They were not crucial to the show anymore.
No, I would agree with that 100%.
You needed Corey, Topanga, Sean, Eric. You might have even been able, maybe he was the comedic relief you needed, but and then Feeney. Yeah. Feeney was the words of wisdom, heart, soul of the show.
Still love him.
Yeah.
Feeney.
So they had the power. Well, when you're trying to get in with this group, you target them because they hold the power.
Yeah.
They also talked about how he was someone who liked to name drop a lot. They called him the Forrest Gump of Hollywood because he knew everyone.
Really?
And he had so many stories, and he was constantly name dropping.
Yeah.
Trying to elevate his status, and that people wanted him around, and they wanted to be someone that he name dropped.
So it's like he was creating this environment for himself where he was aligning himself with the people that had the power to keep him employed, wanted to be on their good side, and then also wanted to make himself a very attractive person for people to get to know because of how he communicated with other people in the industry. It feels very calculated, like what you're explaining. It's actually kind of scary.
It is scary.
Yeah.
He wanted to elevate himself. He wants to make himself be invaluable.
Yeah.
That you want him to like you. You want to be a part of his stories and not just hearing them.
Yeah. And then when something does blow up, something does happen, and he gets caught,
it couldn't possibly be him.
Illegal things. There's no way.
Yeah.
And people just can't believe it. So it's like, I think the big thing that I felt about when we talked about this is I know that there are going to be people who will absolutely vilify everyone who wrote a letter or supported any of these people at any time. But it's really important to understand the culture and the dynamics surrounding it. And for me, seeing that Pod Meets World decided to address this and own up to it and talk about it, you know, seek professional guidance, all those types of things, I think that speaks to their characters of who they are as people. Yep. And so to me, when someone can sit there and admit that something that was wrong happened, that, you know, and explain their side of it, and that they never wanted to hurt anybody, that wasn't their intention by any means, I think we should respect that. Yep. And I didn't want to talk about this without putting in that human element, because it's going to be a really easy headline to be like, Boy Meets World cast supported, you know, Brian Peck. But to me, that's lazy.
It is. It's not telling the whole story.
No.
And it's kind of one of those things where you feel, after listening to it and hearing them talk about it and hearing about where they are now in their journey with this and how they're trying to process their emotions and figure out what happened.
Yeah.
And the therapist talks about looking back, and they're judging themselves as teenagers and kids with adult eyes, that you can't judge yourself with that viewpoint.
Yeah.
It's not fair to yourself. You were still kids. You were in an adult industry, and in some areas you are very adult, much more than your peers.
Yes.
But at the same time, you're still kids.
Yeah.
And that's not fair to hold yourself to that. And Ryder actually talked about, he saw him at a party about 7 years ago. And as soon as he saw him, he came over, started talking Ryder up, and he said immediately started name dropping. And he said, as a kid, I didn't see it. But as an adult, I immediately felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And just how he was saying all of this for clout. And
Yeah.
I'm so cool because all of these people have given me their stamp of approval.
I think it's interesting that it's like, it almost kind of sounds like it's set off like an alarm,
Yeah.
like a red flag in his head. So it's like, as an adult, after being removed from the situation and coming back, it's like,
Oh no.
oh no, no, I don't like this. I don't like this.
To the point where Ryder said he left. He couldn't stay at the party.
Really?
He got his wife and they left because he couldn't be around it.
Wow.
He felt sick. And Will said he hasn't seen him in 20 years.
Okay. So I think, I hope that, I mean, at least for me, I don't believe in cancel culture. I just don't. Pretty much, other than if you get caught doing stuff with kids. At that point, you can burn in hell. I have nothing for you anymore. There's nothing left for me to, I can't. There's no repairing this. And also, like, particularly with things that are illegal. All those types of things, right? I think that is a different conversation. But people make mistakes. People think they know someone and they don't. And they have their own story as to why they felt the way that they did at the time. But I feel like this is a really important example of people seeing, what was wrong, coming forward before anyone calls them out on it.
To that end, Danielle did say at the beginning of the episode that a couple outlets had reached out, to Will and Ryder looking for a statement. And they felt that just giving a short statement was not enough.
Yeah.
It would not do the situation justice. And I know some people will say, oh, they're just doing it for clicks and exposure for their podcast.
No.
But I do understand what they're saying, that this is too big, too heavy of a topic to reduce it to a one-line statement. It's not enough to justify their experience with this whole thing.
And that I will say too, when it comes to a lot of the mainstream media, the number one, I would say most media that I see on a daily basis is heavily reliant on invoking anger or fear. One or the other. Because that immediately puts people into a place where they feel like they need to know, they want to know, and they then are able to get angry, upset, etc. And then people just lash out, especially on the internet and things like that. But reporters know this, journalism knows this. I, as a YouTuber, know this. And the media loves to take small portions, little sound bites, and then try to build a narrative around it that will enrage the reader. That's my opinion. That is what I have witnessed for years. So it's the fear of, if they did give a statement, how would they be painted? Is it better to be able to have something in full context and hope that people will listen to them and hear them out and understand where they're coming from? Which is exactly why I'm trying to do that for them right now. Because I don't like that kind of reporting. I don't think that it is honest or fair or, quite bluntly, ethical. That's my opinion.
And the one thing the therapist did talk about as well is that in their own way, they were victims of him. They didn't go through the same thing that Drake did.
And they don't think they would ever claim to.
No, and they're not. And Will was really struggling with that, of that concept, and her saying, just because you're a victim being a victim is not a pie. You don't get to take a slice and that takes away from someone else's pain. It's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. So just because they didn't have the same extent of a situation as what others did doesn't mean they're not valid in their own feelings of being betrayed and G'd, and all those kind of things, which I thought was a really good point, that just because it didn't go as far with them doesn't mean that nothing happened to them. This was someone they thought was their friend, and they were betrayed by him, and they were lied to, and all those kind of things. So it's important to give them self-validation that they're allowed to have these feelings. They're allowed to be upset. They're allowed to feel that this was not okay and that they were betrayed and they were a victim. That's okay.
And the thing too, if I can just say from my perspective, as someone who has survived, CSA, I also had a situation in my life where I found out that an adult that was definitely close to me and had access to me and had made some inappropriate comments. And I want to be clear, they did not touch me in a adult manner, but now that I look back at it as an adult, I never would have an interaction with a child the way that this person did to me. And then I found out after that that person had done things, and it was not up for debate. And the absolute anger and fear that I felt knowing that this person had likely debated and had thought about it. And there were some people in my life that also were aware. I didn't know, but they did. And for some reason, everybody kept it like a secret, and I don't understand why they did. But they protected me from this person. And as I've gotten older, I've heard other stories. I can't explain to you how sick to this day that makes me feel. Knowing what I know now. And I want to be very vague about this for a lot of reasons, and it's to protect people that I care about. But I can only imagine how Ryder and Will have felt about this and the confliction that is within them over it, because it's really hard. It's really hard. And I can tell you, finding out about some things changes things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
What I will say is I definitely didn't do the episode justice. Listen to it yourself. Even if you never watched the show, you have no idea who these people are. It is a really good listen. It's basically an hour and 20 minutes of therapy.
yeah.
And it's looking at it from the perspective, as Kim was just alluding to, of kind of a close call.
Yeah.
And how that affects you. So even if you haven't been are a victim of those kind of things and you've been around it peripherally or whatnot, it's a good listen to start trying to sort out some of your emotions. And I mean, credit to Will and Ryder for being honest about what they're feeling and the confliction they're feeling and all those kind of things. It's important. And I think it really helps you understand the human element of it, of, well, what could they possibly been thinking? How could they support someone like this? It's not black and white. It's not that simple.
And that's the thing, like before I knew, and quite bluntly, I think if depending on who would have told me, I don't know if I would have believed them.
And that's the
but
thing.
the person who did tell me, I can't say anything about who they are. But they knew because they lived it. They saw the fault. They saw all of it. And I found out when I went. I had gone out for the evening. I came back in and I back into the house and I spoke with my mom and I was angry. I was so angry. We were in like the front hallway of my house and I just said, I'm like, how did you allow me to be around this person? How, like, because I thought that she would have known because of like the culture surrounding the situation, and she didn't. And we both were just absolutely dumbfounded, and it really sent me down a rabbit hole in my head of thinking like all the people I knew that were my age and younger, what else could have happened, because if I didn't know and I was so close to the situation, I knew people that weren't as close to the situation obviously wouldn't know. And
Yeah.
what could he have gotten away with? Because people wouldn't talk about it, and I didn't understand that, and I still don't to this day, and it hurts so much. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like make people feel bad for me or anything like that, but I'm just trying to say that like this is why when people say that like G wording is so insidious and awful and traumatizing, it absolutely is. And I'm not, and as someone who has been raped, to someone who has gone through all of those things, I'm in no way trying to defend them. Or to like compare them, not defend, compare them and say that they're the same, because they're not. But it's, for me, I just, as a kid, I look back on it now and I think to myself, I should have said something, I should have done more, I should have done stuff. And then at the same time, I sit there and I go, no, because I was a kid.
And that's what she talks about is don't look at yourself from the viewpoint of an adult when you're a kid.
Yeah.
It's not fair
You
to
can't.
yourself.
You can't. And that's part of the thing. And I think honestly, that's one of the things that is the hardest for me about my trauma, is it's not even so much about what happened to me, it's about the other events that surrounded me and the people that I love that were affected, and how much those things haunt me. And I think if I had done things differently, if I had told people, things would have changed.
Yeah.
And I mean that on a very personal level, that one of the people in the world that I love the most, if I had said something, I might have been able to save her. But I thought I did the right thing at the time, and I didn't know.
And you did do the right thing at that time. And I say that as someone who knows more of the situation.
Yeah.
And the background, or things were not gonna.
And that's part of why, like I've said, sorry. I may share this song later with you guys. It was one, I can't even remember the artist right now, and my mind is so scrambled. But it's a song that was written from the perspective of someone who was in a relationship with someone who had been SA'd. And he wrote this song about the things that he wanted to do to that person. And as an artist, as someone who had a microphone in front of him, you know, as part of the lyrics are, you say it's in the past and you're over that, but I only ask, what would happen if I said your name? And him understanding that power and choosing not to use it because it's not his to use, because it would entirely be about whether or not the survivor wanted to say something. And I have so many days where I'm just like, what would happen if I said these people's names? Yeah. And that eats me up. But And I have supported one of those people in particular. And if she ever wants to talk, I will absolutely platform her, and I will go into battle behind her, and I will, like, or in front of her.
Be right there with her.
Yeah. And it's just really difficult, and my heart goes out to Ryder and to Will and to Drake and to everybody who's affected by this. And ultimately, I just look at the adults in the situation and I just go, what the hell were you all doing? I don't understand. And I don't think I ever will.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get that emotional about this, but it's all just,
Yep.
it all just hits you, you know?
It comes in waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
an hour and 20 minutes. There's lots more in it. But I will say, go listen to it.
Yeah.
I think it gives really good different perspective that people don't always think of.
Yeah.
And they're very, people, not anyone in particular, just people in general can be very quick to judge. They will see this headline and make a split decision. And I'm just going to say it's so much more complicated than that.
Yeah. And I think it's just, I know that this story is going to get nuts.
Yeah.
This story is going to get nuts. But I really feel like the people we need to be angry with right now are people like Dan Schnieder, are people like Brian Peck.
Yeah.
Be mad at them. Be mad at them for what they did.
Yeah. I do have the link for Spotify, so I will put that in the chat.
Okay.
I don't have it for like Apple and all that, but
and I'll go ahead and put their Instagram up again.
Yeah.
So if you guys aren't using Spotify, you can go through their Instagram and see here. I'll just double check.
It was the February 19th, 2024 episode.
Yeah. So that should give you the information.
Whether it be just helping you sort through your own feelings in a situation or helping you understand how people got to these decisions and to these situations, and just helping yourself to know that it's not as black and white as people think it is.
Nope.
It's so much more layered and confusing, all these different emotions, and that the people who made those decisions and had those actions, it doesn't mean they still believe it and that it doesn't beat them up themselves.
Yeah.
Of Will saying, I was on the wrong side of the aisle. But there's nothing I can do about that now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's a really tough topic.
Yeah. But I hope, I appreciate you guys hearing us out on that. I can already see it coming that people are going to come after them. And I don't like it. It bothers me a lot that I know that that's going to happen. So,
I mean, I haven't seen any statements from other people. I do have that question of whether or not they do mean James or Jason Marsden.
Yes.
Because for those who aren't aware, Jason Marsden was Will Friedle's, or is Will Friedle's best friend. And he was on Boy Meets World multiple times.
Yeah.
They were in the same circle.
Yeah. So if you have, like, I could absolutely see that.
So that was my question, because you had told me earlier in the day that, oh, it was James. And I'm like, we sure it's not Jason?
Yeah. Like, she literally said, like, no, what if it's Jason? And I'm like, no, it says James. And I'm like, it says it James on TMZ, and it also said it on Us Weekly. But I'm like,
and the picture they have is
James. But I'm like,
I don't know. I'm not familiar with what he was doing in his career at that point, so I'm not 100% sure. All I know is Jason Marsden was active in Will's life at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to piece together in my
Yeah.
head how all these people relate to one another, and goodness knows.
I mean, honestly, that's like a nightmare of mine, that like you wake up and somebody with my name would have been like accused of something or
Yeah.
did something, and everybody's like, it's you. Like we've seen it all the time with what was it? There was when Lemonade came out and Beyonce had the song where she's like Becky with the good hair,
Mm-hmm.
and they identified who it was, but people fought because her name was similar to a cook, I think it was on the Food Network,
Yeah.
that it was her, and all of the, like a bunch of the Beehive all went over and started harassing her, and she's like, what is happening?
If you did watch Boy Meets World, Jason Marsden did play Jason, who was Eric or Will's friend on the show.
Was he the guy who was shorter than him?
Yes.
That dated the redhead?
No, that's later.
That's later. Different person.
That was Matthew Lawrence.
Okay.
And he actually starred on the show.
There we go. Okay.
Jason Marsden did like 9 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
He was on. He did Blossom. He was Rich on Step by Step. He did 53 episodes of Step by Step.
Oh, okay.
He was 4 episodes on Full House. He played Nelson on Full House, who dated DJ.
Oh, okay.
So he was in that realm of ABC and whatnot at that time.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. And I wouldn't be surprised if any of the people on that list do decide to come forward and share their side of the story, like Will and Ryder have. And I guess we'll go from there and see what happens.
And I know you didn't really touch on it, but we did mention at the beginning, we did say Disney Channel is also involved in this because Brian also worked on The Sweet Life.
After this.
After the prison sentence.
Yeah. Disney hired him to be on The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody after he was sentenced.
So just be aware this went on in both networks.
And I'm wondering if this is going to start a mass exodus of people coming forward.
Yeah.
Because I think it was much worse than any of us could probably imagine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Deep breath.
Yes. I think that means we are officially in halftime. And this is always the struggle of the show of being like, we have to have fun now. We have to, we need to change gears. We need to be in a good place. And I need to get there. And I'm just
tone shift.
Yeah. And I'm just I'm trying to get my own nervous system to calm down here right now so I can do that. I guess a good thing to do, we could go through the support because I haven't checked it at all.
Yep. There's a good amount.
Yeah. Elisa Marion gifted a membership. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. I so appreciate it. General Scott coming in with 2 more memberships. Thank you very much, General. Much love to you. Amanda Panda gifting a membership. Another one. That's the second one I think you've given today. It's very generous of you as well. Let me see here. Then we've got Tiffany came in with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Tiffany. My goodness. And then Kyle came in with another super sticker, which I'm going to pull up and see if I can find it.
Waving Hippo.
Waving Hippo.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. Benjamin Quist has been a member for 4 months. This is messed up. Yes, it is. And thank you for your membership for 4 months. I do appreciate it. For the record, you're honored. You don't need to send anything. You don't. I love you. Love that they chose to discuss this on their terms. Yeah, exactly. And you also gifted a membership and then said, thank you for your voice and your bravery. I love you, bestie. I love you too. And thank you. I know. And I saw your other message too. You're amazing. Linda's the best. Linda's a real one. Marion has been a member for 7 months. Metaphorical hugs coming your way, Kim. I'm sorry. Thank you. I feel the hugs. I feel the hugs. Yeah, I may need a second. I think I may need to take a Tylenol or something. But yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it. I do feel the love. Jean Rick, thank you so much for the super sticker as well. The 1-up, chomp chomp. Very appreciated. Then we got Amanda Panda coming in again with another Another gifted membership. Thank you so much, Amanda. And then Katie Artis94 coming in with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, Katie. Thank you so much, Katie. You guys are amazing. And I hope that I have covered this fairly and in a way that you guys feel like you can be honest in here and talk in here. I know, like Amanda had feelings, so when she's like, "Oh, Drake, yay!" And I hope that I've been fair, right? Like, let's be fair. I think that that's really important when we talk about situations like this. Jackie Swan, thank you so much for the gifted membership. That is wonderful. I have to ask producer sister, how many are we up to?
We are at 28, so team even.
Team even, everyone. Thank you very much, and welcome to the 28 new Space Angels. I'm sorry you guys, came in here for not so much of an uplifting stream. I usually try to do that, but I don't know how to make this uplifting, and I feel like if I did, it would be weird.
It would be very weird.
It would be really weird. Tiffany, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. And it's the doggy with the heart.
Aww.
Thank you. And King Bob coming in with the chomp chomp super sticker.
What up?
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, you guys are amazing. Okay. Lacey?
Yes, mommy?
Am I good now, or do you want to stay?
Just hold her.
Okay.
She's good.
Yeah. She's just having trouble like standing on my leg because I'm sitting cross-legged.
Can you put the bed on your lap?
Yeah, I think I could do that actually. Why don't we do that? Okay, Bear, hang on. Oof. Yeah. And let's move the bed over. How's that? Is that better? Yeah, she's like, this is a new pose. I haven't done this before. She's like, not sure about this.
What am I doing?
Yeah, she's not laying down.
Give her a minute.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, Lisa Boo, thank you. I just saw that come through. Thank you so much for the gifted membership. Does that mean we're Team Odd?
We are Team Odd.
We are Team Odd. We are Team Odd. That is awesome. Yeah. Oh, Tiffany, my goodness. Guys, Tiffany just member for a month. Thank you so much.
You.
No, Kim, you and producer sister are amazing. I appreciate that. But you are amazing. We can both be if you want.
Share it.
And Silky came in with the super sticker here, the 3-pound super sticker of the puppy. And let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Thank you so much. I am honestly very honored that you picked me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That is really special. And thank you so much for choosing to do that. Oh, okay. Lace, I don't want you to hurt yourself standing. I'm like nervous.
She's looking at me through the monitors.
What? Oh, she's staring at you through the monitor. Oh, yeah.
She can see me under the monitors, like between the riser and the bottom of the monitor.
Yeah. I mean, for those of you that don't know, like Lacey is my service dog. She has been trained in behaviors to assist me with my CPTSD. And one of the things that she's kind of taught herself that has just been hilarious over the years has been, she honestly has a moment, I think sometimes when I'm not okay, where she's like, I need an adult. Like she'll go and find someone. So she'll go and like find producer sister or find my husband or whatever and just be like, I was like, Timmy fell down the well. Like Kim needs help. So I'm not surprised at all. Yeah, she just kissed my hand. She's like, yeah. So it's like, I'm not surprised she's staring at producer sister because she's probably like, why are you not over here fixing it? Oh, you're too funny.
Here's a good question.
Oh,
change of tone. Amanda Panda asked, is the purple plushie new?
Oh my goodness. Okay, Amanda. You know what, Lacey? I think Mommy's okay. You trust Mommy? Okay. Come here. Get you seated. I will bring you back if I see other things happening. So let me put you back in your bed here. Good girl. So the purple plushie is relatively new to this set. Big shout out to my extended family that went to Disney and grabbed this for me because this is Figment. And Figment is a character from Disney that is very present at Epcot, which is one of my favorite places in the world. And Figment is literally the figment of your imagination. And he is an agent of chaos, complete chaos. That is all he does. And I'm obsessed with him. And I had a plushie of him that I wanted to put on this set, but he's I mean, even this one, he's packing some booty. He got a booty that don't quit. So my other plushie of Figment, I tried to put on these shelves. It was not happening. I then tried to suspend him from the ceiling. That didn't work either. So I talked to my family that was going to Disney, and I just said, "Can you guys try to find me like a Figment plushie that doesn't have like a dump truck butt so that I can fit him on my shelf?" And he's still like, if I have to have him on the edge like this, because if I don't, he falls off, and he probably will fall off again. Like,
there's nowhere for his tail.
There's nowhere for his tail. There's nowhere for his booty. So that's why he's there, and he's not always visible, but I really wanted him on this set. And we're laughing, Amanda, because producer sister and I have been discussing things that we can do for the channel. This is actually a perfect segue for us to get into What the Wut. Like, this is beautiful. We're trying to think of things because I've basically stopped posting standalone videos because I've gotten more into the live streaming. And there's a number of reasons for that, but I think the most important reason is that the standalone videos that I do, there's a lot of editing and there's a lot of research because, hi, I'm Kim, and that's what I do. Like, even for example, like the last Eurovision episode we just put out for Space Angels, that took me, separate from filming, about 20 hours worth of editing because I'm a perfectionist and I can't help myself. It is what it is. And I don't have the time to do my regular job and a bunch of standalone videos per week. However, I can do an hour or two of prep for these streams and be able to give you guys like 2 hours worth of content or more for that time investment. So to me, it just made more sense to move into the live stream thing because it's also like interaction and all those other types of things. And I honestly prefer doing live streams to doing standalone videos. And yes, KDR's Chaotic Kim came out. Yes, she did. And so we were trying to think of ideas of things that I could do that wouldn't take as much prep work to do standalone videos. And one of the things producer sister recommended, because she's seen you guys enjoying it, is Kim rants.
I'm trying for you guys.
And I was like, okay. And I was laying in bed last night being like, what could I rant about this week? What would I be like open to yelling about and freaking out about on my channel? What would work for that? And I have received a number of comments, and I had more of them a bit this week, of people basically being like, what kind of a grown-up has toys behind them? And like roasting me because I have like collectibles and toys behind me. And I've seen this for years, and I was literally debating. I'm like, maybe I just need to do a rant video about like people that literally judge me because I have a puppet behind me and an Alf plush behind me and a Funko thing behind me. And I was just like, such a stupid thing to get upset about. And I thought I could make that into a good rant. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of that idea. But I was
just thinking people enjoy it when you rant. And if you could put out like a short 5 to 7 minute video, maybe once a week or so, depending on what ticks you off, it's a good cathartic experience just to let it out and have short standalone videos that don't require a lot of research and editing. It can be more of a one take type thing.
Well, it's also like, it's stuff that a few of the items behind me, I've done a series in the members only for Space Angels where I've talked about the stuff that's on my set, and I've gone through a lot of it. Now, there have been some additions and some takeaways since I've done those, but the big players that people ask about are all in there. Like my my professor puppet I talk about, my Alf plushie I talk about, and in particular, like my Alf plushie, I know that everybody loves that and I get comments about it constantly. But the reason I have it up there is actually has very little to do with my love of Alf. It's because the person who gave me that plushie at one point in my childhood asked me what I wanted to do with my life, and I said probably something to do with, performing, being on a stage, because I love to do that. And they made a comment to me basically saying they couldn't see me possibly doing that because I seemed like the kind of person that would help somebody else achieve that, like that somebody else would achieve greatness because of my work, and I should just sit down and just, be in the background. Um yeah. A, it's a messed up thing to say to a kid, but B, it's honestly I when I see that plushie, when I look at it, I'm like that they were wrong. And it is my visual memory every day of looking at something and saying when people tell you you can't, actually yes you can. Yes you can. You can. You can. People have opinions and sometimes they should keep them to themselves. And people suck sometimes and they should keep it to themselves. So, yeah, that's why he's here. That is why the alpha is hanging out there.
And they can suck it. Kick rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. So if that makes me immature then and not somebody that's worth listening to, that's a choice. That's a choice.
It's their choice.
That's their choice.
If you don't like it, you don't have to listen.
No. Yeah. So yes, that's why the elf is there. Anyway, well, we do have a What the What, which I think is sorely needed today. Are you guys ready for that? Is there anything else any other comments or anything that we need to go over? I think we're
Whitney had one super chat, but
Oh.
I know they've been discussing it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Whitney said, "How do I gift a membership? I want to give back." That is incredibly kind of you, Whitney. I appreciate that. The way it usually works is in the chat. At least I'm looking at it on PC version. So there's, it says like chat publicly as whoever, like your username, and then there's the emote button. There's a $sign in a box button, and then there's a plus button. Or you probably don't have a plus button. It's to engage. There might be another button for if you're just watching and you're not modded or anything like that. But if you click on the square with the $sign, you should have options of what you can do to support the channel. So there's a membership option, there's a super chat option, there's a super sticker option, and then there is the membership gifting option. And then you would go through that and go from there. So, oh, they did add that finally.
What?
Ah, sweet. There we go. Sweet. They were telling us they were going to start giving us some memberships to give away for free.
Nice.
Yeah. So there we go. So I just gifted 5.
Cool.
Now, the thing is, with gifting memberships, I can't choose who I gift them to, nor can Whitney. No one can. The only thing you could do is allow gifts and allow that to happen. So that's basically it on that front, and eventually it will happen. Now on mobile, I think it is a very similar process.
Yeah, I just looked at it on mine, and it's basically the same.
Basically the same.
I'm on Android though. I know iPhones are weird.
iPhones have problems with those types of things. So, yeah. I don't know what it is on Apple devices, but that I have heard that being an issue.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I know we've had people having issues of even just joining the channel on an iPhone.
Yeah. So if that is potentially an issue that you're having, that's probably what's up. Yeah. Katie Artist just said, yeah, you can't apparently, which I don't understand that. Like,
why?
Why does Apple hate us? Is it like a Google hatred thing?
Maybe.
Because YouTube is owned by Google and they're like, no. It's too funny. Rosa, you guys, my dog is screeching and crying right now at her dad because she's too lazy to look for her ball. Is it caught somewhere and she can't get it? I don't know. That's funny though. Yeah, Team Samsung. Yeah, I was a Motorola fan and then ended up becoming a Samsung fan. And I've never really looked back. So, yeah. Yeah. So, so basically, if Emily, thank you so much for saying that too. I want to join too. You are welcome to do so. You can get a membership for yourself. I have it. Everyone is the same level in membership. There's no like tiers. It's just one, and I've tried to keep it at a really low cost. Because I know what it's like to be in a place where you can't afford to do things like that. But if you're not in a place that you can afford to do something like that, you are absolutely welcome to allow gifts on your account. And then that will put you in the running for if somebody gifts memberships. And I truly believe that if you hang out here long enough, it will happen. We have an incredibly generous group of people. So that's how you can do it. Those are your avenues. And if you have been gifted a membership and you'd like to stay a member, you can go into your YouTube account, make sure your payment stuff is in place, and then you can stay and you can start earning your new badges because your badges changes depending on how long you've been a member. And there's many of us now that have the coveted the oneth badge based on our oneth inside joke because it's beautiful. So Rosa, nope, in the middle of the floor. She's in a mood. Yeah. What? Tiffany, with iPhone, you have to log into YouTube on the Chrome browser and be able to get memberships.
Come on.
It's totally like a Google hate thing, in my opinion, based on that information. Oh yeah, that's Apple being petty. That's petty. That's petty university right there. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. I just saw the time. We gotta do this. We gotta do it. And oh, Ray. Thank you, Ray. Thank you very much. Just said I, for one, think you'd make a great leader. I appreciate that. I do. And I try. I try. Oh gosh, yeah, Katie, I have to turn on my flipping laptop just to give membership. It's ridiculous. Apple, stop it. Apple, stop it.
Learn to work together.
Okay?
Hey, Whitney got it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, it's so stupid. Sorry. Yay, Whitney! Thank you. Thank you, Whitney, very, very much. I appreciate that. All right. Oh, Billy Cat, it's your birthday? Happy birthday, Billy Cat. Can we get some love in the chat for Billy Cat on her birthday? Yes, please. Oh, Whitney just gave 5 more memberships. Thank you very much, Whitney. It was very kind of you. Oh my goodness. And welcome to all the new members. This is so special. Thank you, guys. Yeah, okay. So
let's do What the What.
So, producer sister, this is hilarious posts from funniest memes that might make you chuckle. I think we could definitely use that today.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, let's go. Night people when morning people are asleep. Morning people when night people are asleep.
I feel like this is accurate.
This is incredibly accurate. It's almost like offensively accurate in my life. I have insomnia. I have ADHD. I'm not a morning person. Sometimes my brain just goes, "You're not sleeping," and that's the end of it. So I try to be super quiet while everybody's sleeping, and then finally when I do fall asleep at like 7 a.m. in the morning, and I'm just trying to get a couple of hours so I can get up and do something, and all of a sudden the lawnmower's going off out front of my window. Rude. Rude. All right. Do y'all blow on food when it's hot, or do you until you can chew it. And Princess said I blow on it, but I underestimate how hot it is, and I anyway.
That was a lovely interpretation of that word.
How would you say it?
Well, same.
I'm sure there's gonna be pronunciation police on me for that, but I just ridiculous. Yeah, though, but like this is part of why I only have cold drinks, and my fella gets mad at me all the time in the winter when I'm like freezing cold because I also have Raynaud's phenomenon. So literally, like my hands will be white, and I'm holding my frappuccino, and he's just like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I am not ordering a drink that I then have to like wait another 20 minutes to drink. I'm buying the drink or I'm making the drink, and I would like to drink it now. I don't want to have to wait. Also, I don't want my food or my drink hurting me. I'm all about the cold. That's just who I that's just me." So it's funny. It's funny. Okay, next one. Raya, your parents are going to be home in 10 minutes. What do you do? Xavier, come back in 10, 11 minutes and ask them what's going on.
What happened?
I don't know. I think a part of me would just be like, I'd just lay on the floor, let them come in and be like the edibles. That would be... Sorry?
Disagreeing.
No? Or agreeing or disagreeing?
Agreeing.
Agreeing, yeah. Like, what do you even do? What do you even do? Oh. Oh, Joanne, thank you so much. Member for 12 months. Happy month for me! Yay! Happy month for you. Thank you so much.
There's been a few other ones before her.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Thank you. My goodness. Okay, so we left off at Whitney at 5. And then Cindy said, thank you, ItsKim, for the membership. Well, I think I did say that. Thank you very much. You're welcome, Cindy. No problem. Dragonfly Kisses. Hello. Sending good vibes your way. Right back at you. Thank you very much, Dragonfly Kisses. And then Joanne with her once, and then gifting 5 memberships. Producer sister, dare I ask, where are we at?
Team Odd.
Team Odd.
45.
Team Odd at 45. Thank you very much, you guys. That is amazing, and I so appreciate it. We shall keep going. All right. I just flipped our microwave on its side, and he absolutely loves it. What in the food rocks is that? Are you kidding me? Producer sister, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, speaking of Epcot, back in the day, there was a show at Disney.
It's where Soren is now.
Yes. Called Food Rocks. And I'm gonna pull this up. Yeah, so it was a show, and literally like these kitchen animatronics would talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to see, because there was one before Food Rocks. Food Rocks was the second installment. Because the first installment was the one with Veggie Fruit.
Yeah,
the song. But yeah, so like what they had like songs that they played that were based on healthy eating, but they were parodies. So like this was one that they did for like the Beach Boys. And I think it was Good Nutrition instead of Good Vibrations.
Yeah,
if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it was strange, but I don't know why. This guy reminds me of this dude and this guy. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Food Rocks. It's
the thing nightmares are made of.
It was the thing nightmares are made of. Horrifying warning I've seen on the way home from work. Please do not let the cat out no matter what it tells you. Oh, the eyes on that cat. That cat has seen things.
He has feelings.
Is he okay?
I don't know.
Like, I definitely think he needs to stay inside, but, like, is he okay? Oh my gosh. Reporter wears grape costume. Fantastic. Reporter wears grape costume to defend boy suspended for banana suit. Real recognizes real. Yes. Why was he in trouble for a banana suit?
I don't know.
There are stupid things that kids get suspended for. I gotta tell you. And it's always funny that it's like there's some kids that like they can do horrible things and nothing happens. And then you got a kid wearing a banana costume and they get suspended. And it's like,
really, guys?
Really? We're gonna suspend the banana, but not the guy that knocked the guy out? Okay.
This is the hill?
This is the one. Ridiculous. All right. After half an hour trying to figure out this crazy haircut, I realized it's a coconut tree behind him. I mean, placement, buddy. Placement. Could you not see that, though, when you were taking the picture?
I mean, he might have thought it was funny.
Yeah, maybe. How the rest of the world sees the USA. Los Angeles. What? New York. Yeehaw and Disney World. Stop.
They lie.
I don't see the USA that way, but I mean, I will say probably the 3 states that I am the most familiar with are New York, Florida, and California. So I don't really have space to talk. I've never been to Texas. I'm not used to the heat though. So
I haven't been to Texas. I have been to Oklahoma, and the dry heat.
No.
When you're used to humidity heat, that was rough. And it was July.
All right, keep going. When you meow at your owner for food, but instead he meows back at you with 13 grammatical errors. I often wonder that, like how they feel about that. Like if I start woofing, what my dogs think, you know?
They look at you weird.
Yeah. I love that cat's face though.
Mm-hmm.
That's epic. Some cats bring their humans birds and mice. Oliver brings tea bags. He's trying. Look at Oliver's eyes. He did his best.
Maybe he knows you like tea and it makes you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. British cat. Thank you, Katie.
Sorry, I have to ask something here. Lady Pyro, I'm confused. I could get in trouble if someone makes a comment on my channel about someone, and I will get in trouble. Judge in Florida is trying to do that YouTube channel. What the hell? I am familiar with what's going on with that. Has something happened in here? Because I think everything's been okay. I don't think there's been anything.
No.
Or was that just like a PSA?
Maybe.
Just trying to follow it. Okay. Hacker, I have all your passwords. Me, OMG, thank you. What are they? Oh, that's great.
I feel like this is relatable.
I do. I love this. Also, it's also just Kermit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Kermit. We gotta have the Kermit.
Of course.
When you wake up at 3 a.m. and go to the bathroom and your cat has to fulfill his obligation to watch you pee. You know what? I know there's a lot of conversation about like dogs and cats wanting to go to the bathroom, like following you into the bathroom or whatever. But at the same time, as someone with dogs, I regularly, I take my dogs outside to do their business, and I'm there when that happens. So maybe they just feel like that's the way it should be. I don't know. Oh, Lulu's mom, is this appropriate with Lulu? Does Lulu do this? Does Lulu do this? Oh gosh. Oh, Melissa, my dog tries to jump on my lap when I'm on the can. I've never had that. It's funny. Yeah, exactly. Marsha Haas. Yeah, just that I read that they do it to protect you because you are vulnerable. And that's also why, like, when dogs go to the bathroom, a lot of the time they actually look at their owner.
Yeah.
Because they're in their most vulnerable state and they just want to make sure that they're okay.
They're protected.
Yep. When my step takes our horse dog in the bathroom when she showers. I mean, does the dog get a bath too? Because I could see that working, you know? Kind of. I don't know.
Sam likes to shower.
Yes, Sam.
This dog loves to shower.
Terrified of the pool.
Oh, yeah.
Terrified of the pool. Loves the shower. And not when he's being bathed. It's just that the shower turns on. He wants to run in and run out.
Yeah. And if I have the shower door open and he's in the bathroom, he will go in the shower and bark at the shower head because it's not on. Like, he literally just stands there, looks up at it, and starts barking. Like, why can't you have this energy when I need to bathe you?
There have been a few times I've actually texted producer sister because he's been barking like crazy, and I'm like, did something happen? Like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. Sammy just wants to get in the shower.
Because sometimes I'll leave the door open to help it dry out, and no, he's not having any of this.
No. If having an old soul was a person, aww, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so proud of himself. A little bow tie. It's cute. Big bad pit bull scared next to sit with the cat. Oh my gosh. Look at all of them. Look how ferocious they are. Piled on top of each other on the couch.
So what did that cat do?
Yeah, what did that cat do? Are they just like, I don't know. No, we don't do cats.
We don't trust the cat.
No cats. No cats. When your landlord says no dogs allowed. Man. Oh my gosh, that's funny. What a costume though. I don't know why. Like, I know it's because it looks like a miniature greyhound, but I just think of Kermit from Jenna Marbles.
Yeah.
What are this?
Your Sermit will grow.
Yeah, what are your Sermit, or your Sermit will not grow? I miss her so much. I love you if you ever see this. I know you never will, but I love you, Jenna Marbles. I miss you. There is only one guy who works in our department, so we changed the bathroom sign. Ben. Ben got his own bathroom. Moving up, Ben. Good for you. Good for you. I love it. Good for Ben. 1950. We will have flying car. 2023. Do not eat this wrap. Shut up. Is that a Subway?
It looks like it.
Oh.
Or at least something of the sort. This is when I worry for humanity. It's like the label on the hairdryer that says, do not use in shower. I can't.
I'm done. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Or the peanuts that say may contain nuts. And I'm like, what is in it if there are no nuts?
May.
What am I eating? I don't want to eat it anymore.
When someone enters your room, switches on the light, and leaves without switching it on.
Stank face.
I feel like I'm looking at my husband right now. He's like, I want to be in my room, in the dark, by myself. I love you, baby, but you're very introverted. I found him, y'all. Oh, like the emoji. Good for him. Good for him. I like that. It's cute. My husband said no more dogs, so they're cute.
They're adorable. I feel like they'd make a big mess.
They would make a huge mess. A massive mess. But they are cute. They're so cute. Oh gosh. Kyle. Moo. Linda, where are you? Moo. I'm a cow. I am not a cat. I don't say meow. Moo. Oh my gosh. someday it's hard to find motivation. Or some days. Yeah, some days motivation finds you. Oh,
It found you.
it did. It did. Run. Run. At least you got a better shot on a bike than if you were on foot.
It's true.
Yeah.
You've at least got a shot on a bike.
Yep.
Especially because it looks like they're going downhill.
Yep. Run. Dear user, you've used 75% of your limited data plan. Me, how do I use 75% of what's unlimited? That's a good question. That is a good question.
I have questions for your provider.
Yes, I feel like you need to call the people. Call them and make them fix it. I've decided to put a coin in a bucket every time I got irritated. I started an hour ago. That's a creative way of saving for retirement, right?
But who has that much coin?
I know. I
Coin
don't.
is heavy.
I don't.
And coming from a country that has loonies and toonies, like heavy.
Yeah, heavy. Very heavy. But it's funny.
And yes,
though.
those are real coins.
Yes, they are. They look like nickels or dimes.
Yeah, in the bucket.
Never been more scared of a dog.
He's coming for you.
There's something about that face that almost looks human. Like those are human eyes.
Yeah. It's kind of Ed Sheeran in what song is it? Bad Habits.
Oh yeah. I'm like, Ed Sheeran doesn't look like that dog. Don't
No, the
mean to Ed
makeup.
Sheeran.
The makeup in the music video.
I'm sorry. The way he's staring is so funny. And now I'm just thinking of Ed Sheeran. Like...
You're welcome.
You know, he just pops up over the fence. I'm in love with the shape of you. Just staring at you. They clearly don't know what they're laying on. Oh no, don't lay on. No.
Itchy.
Itchy, no. No, do not lie on the Pink Panther. Do not lie on the insulation.
Bad. Like, come on, guys.
Guys, no. No. House owner, I'd like to break both my legs. Architect, say no more. What?
It's an abomination.
Those are not stairs.
No, they're not.
At best, they're shelves. At best, they are shelves. And they're even pretty crappy ones at that. What even is this? Architects, what are y'all doing?
I don't know how that would pass code.
This isn't sound. This is not sound. This is Jacksonville. Yes, Katie Artist 94. 100%. What is that? What is that?
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
Oh, ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh. All right. When you fart in a Zoom call and your name lights up. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm just remembering that, like, okay, so this is Office Space, right? This is the guy with the red stapler. I don't know if any of y'all noticed. My red stapler. I bought one of those when I first started working. It was like the only item I was like, any job I left, I'm like, I'm taking my red stapler. No one is keeping my red stapler. Yeah. My stapler. Is it Merle said, but it's a pretty Jacksonville architect. That's funny. Thank you. And happy 7 months. Thank you so much for supporting me for that long. Have I missed a lot?
There's been a couple.
Okay. Okay. There's, Joanne's. And then Ray gifted a membership. Thank you very much. And I think Ray went to bed.
Yeah, she had to go to bed.
Okay. I hope they have a great night. Good night, Ray. And then Samantha Lee gifted a membership as well, which is incredibly kind of you. Thank you, Samantha. What does that bring us to for memberships, producer sister, dare I ask?
47.
47. My goodness.
Odd.
You guys. Thank you. Wow. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll keep going. Are we a joke to you? Oh, the slippers. That's so cute. I love that.
It's adorable.
That's adorable. I would do that. I'd have a Lacey slipper and a Charlie slipper. I love that. I love that. When you can't find a parking spot, so you turn the volume down to see better. I don't relate to this, in all fairness. Producer sister, is this a thing that you have done?
I'm usually the opposite. I remember once we were driving and we were in really bad weather and I needed to like super concentrate. It was bad out.
Mhm.
And Dad turned down the radio. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, you need to concentrate. I'm like, no, I need the music on.
We need the music on.
I am like, I know a lot of people do this. I am the opposite.
Yep.
I need that other thing for my brain to focus on.
Yep. I need the thing that I know what it sounds like
Yeah.
to focus on.
like-
Literally when I was prepping for the show today for like hours on end, I had the same song on repeat. And that helps me kind of stay in my hyper focus. So I'm weird that way. Alrighty. Imagine getting arrested and your cat just comes along and sits on you.
He's helping.
He's like, you're not taking him. You're not taking him. He's mine. He's mine. That's funny. That's funny. I mean, the cat's kind of a bro.
Mm-hmm. He's helping.
Yeah, he's helping. Good cat. Good cat. The true length of owl's legs. Oh, yeah, it's wild. The anatomy of an owl is wild. He's a cutie, though. I love owls. Owls are really cute. Oh, that's true, though. Like, their bodies are not that big. They look a lot bigger than they are. Me, when someone's looking at me while I'm doing something. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Oh, I don't. Like, stop. I hate people looking over my shoulder while I'm doing stuff. It drives me absolutely bonkers. Ugh. Ugh. Batman trying to get some sleep during the day. No crime. 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. But 6:01,
fair game.
The purge is happening. Okay, like we're just gonna go. It's going down. We're yelling timber. It's, you better move. You better dance. I don't think it works that way. I don't think you could just put a sign up.
Yeah. Be very respectful criminals.
People that think that criminals will be, or bad people will be deterred by a sign baffle me.
Like, there's a sign.
There's a sign, so it can't happen anymore. It's like that. Have you guys seen the clip about the lady in the deer crossing?
Oh my gosh, that thing is incredible.
Put a 1 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. The deer crossing sign lady
who called into a radio station.
Into the radio station. Because it's ridiculous.
It's beautiful.
How my brain records my life. 144p cringe for good memories. Cringe memories. Yes. Yes. I've been trying to do the thing, like I've seen a few psychologists recommend that when you think of a cringe moment and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that, and you start beating yourself up, being like, now you look back on that and you see that as cringe, which means you've grown as a person. Be proud of yourself that you've grown as a person. And I'm like, I'm trying to be nice to myself in that regard. But yeah, all the worst is in HD, 100%.
Could we ever play the deer crossing thing?
I don't know.
There's no video. It's just audio.
Yeah, it's just audio. It's okay. The deer crossing sign thing.
Like, I've got the link.
Yeah, hang on.
I got it.
Yeah. I think that might be a members only.
Okay.
Try. We might do that in a members only stream just because of copyright issues. But basically what happens is it's a radio show where they're talking to a woman who has been in multiple car accidents where she's hit deer. And she petitions her town, isn't it?
Yeah, well, she's been trying to get the town's attention about this issue. So
of the deers on the highway.
So she's calling a local radio station complaining about how the deer keep crossing where the deer crossing signs are. And you need to move the deer crossing sign somewhere else.
To tell the deers to cross there.
Because
She cannot comprehend that the deer signs are there because that's where the deers have decided they're going to
that's
cross.
where they live. They were there first before
Yes.
you put the road in.
And so the deer crossing signs are assigned to the driver to slow down.
And be aware there's an increased risk of deer.
But even after multiple accidents, she does not understand that there are going to be deers on this road. She just intends to plow through them, and it's their problem. And we should move the deer crossing signs to tell the deer to cross in a different manner.
It's hilarious.
She goes on and on and on, and you honestly think for a few minutes like it's a joke, and then you realize like the depths of the stupidity is just like, as one of my beloved friends says, how does she tie her shoes in the morning? How has she made it this far? Why does she have the right to vote? Like, I just can't.
It's so funny.
It is insane.
It's scary and funny.
And the radio DJ's trying to like help her out and like try to make her stop and like save her dignity, and she's just like, no, we need to move the signs. We need to move the signs.
Okay, so we may do this in a members only, but if you want to see it,
yeah, it's there.
It's worth hearing.
It
more
is
than
a moment.
once.
Yeah, it's very much. It is Dear Karen.
I have
100% Silky. It is
I have
Dear Karen.
to it so many times, and it's still hilarious.
It's still funny. It will always be funny. Also, just want to say, Subi Sue, thank you so much for the 12 months. You got your one. Woohoo! Couldn't chat much today, but listening. Much love to you. Thank you so much. And then Joanne gave another 5 gifts. Joanne, that's so generous of you. Thank you. And then Samantha Lee gifted another membership as well. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Producer sister, dare I ask?
Team Odd.
53. Wow. You guys, thank you so much. This has been such a cool stream. It's been a lot. But thank you so much for all the support. And I think this is our last one.
Yeah.
Caught a cicada that was keeping me awake at night. Well, guess what, a-hole? It's Baby Shark on a 12-hour loop. I mean, did they tape the cicada?
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of mean, but the Baby Shark is funny.
Do, do,
Do, Baby Shark. Do, 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 do. Oh, gosh. Well, thank you very much, Producer Sister. Can we get some love in the chat for Producer Sister for everything that she put together for us today? I think it was very, very well needed. And now I'm gonna have Baby Shark stuck in my head all day.
You're welcome.
I'm very thankful that my niece doesn't seem to really love that song, and I don't have to sit there and listen to it all the time because I don't know if I'd be able to handle it. Samantha Lee gave another membership. Thank you so much. That makes this team even at 54. You guys are incredible. We are going to wind down the stream. We've been going for over 2 hours. And what? Oh my goodness. Melissa Smith. Earlier today, Recovery Addict said that he was 150 members away from getting another emoji. The chat went wild with the gifting more, and he reached his goal and more. That's amazing. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. Support your creators. Always support your creators because we like to do this and live. It's good. Thank you so much. And General Scott just came in with the membership, making us team. I can't remember now. Odd. Team Odd. We are now Team Odd again. Thank you very much, General Scott. Well, you guys, I am going to roll the outro. I would ask, especially on this video, guys, please consider leaving a comment because the interaction that the video gets as alive is great. Like every time you guys chat, it helps. It really does. And then the commenting is separate for when the video becomes a standalone video, and it lets YouTube know that people like this as a video and will make it want to promote it more. So I would really, really appreciate that. Kyle, thank you so much for the gifted membership. We're now back to Team Even.
Mm-hmm.
Team Even. There we go. You guys are amazing. All right, I'm going to roll the outro, probably go for about 10 seconds. Then you can reload if you wish and leave a comment. I would so appreciate it. And I will see you guys soon. I think the next one is going to be Monday, I think. I've got a bunch of other stuff I've got to get done for work and all that type of thing. So I will talk to you guys later. Much love to all of you. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive today.
Thanks, guys.
And so kind. Thank you for putting up with me while I cried. And I will talk to you guys later. Much love. Bye.